This is News at Prime. Let's take you back to one of our leading stories of the day. As temperatures begin to drop in some areas, Gift of the Givers says it's on standby to assist with any emergencies that may arise. The South African Weather Service warning of a cold front in the coming days with the likelihood of snow in some areas. Joining me now is Dr Imtiaz Sooliman, the founder of Gift of the Givers, and he talks to us from KZN this evening, Pietermaritzburg to be exact. Dr. Sooliman, good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time. The likelihood in the area you are at, it is that snow may likely fall. How do you prepare for snowfall?
Good evening, Collie. It's the snowfall. The biggest danger with that is if it falls on the N3. We've had the problem before. If it falls in outlying areas, it's fine, you can deal with that. But when it falls on the highway on the N3, which has happened now probably 4 times, people get stuck for several days. You can't get to them. You can't use helicopters. You can't get to them easy. They can't get to bathrooms. They can't get water. They can't get food. Children, babies need their milk. You know, they need to change diapers. It becomes complicated. But over a period of time, there are groups and vehicles and companies that make use of special snow vehicles to open the roads for us. We don't need to use those vehicles. We work in partnerships. And companies, tow truck companies and other companies then come with these kind of vehicles that open up the road to give us access and passage into areas that require assistance, which happened last year. Thousands of people were stranded on the N3. Snow came very suddenly, and they were we had all the money in the world, but you couldn't access the goods to get to them. So we had teams on the road from different areas in Escort, parts of Ladysmith, towards Mooi River, closer to Durban and Pietermaritzburg, and eventually reaching Van Wienen. As the roads opened up, the RTI, the guys with the snow trucks, the tow truck companies, all worked together. Yeah. They opened the road, escorted our vehicles. Our teams went and got the hot drinks, the water, the food supplies, the snacks, and even the hygiene packs, all what was required. So this has happened before. But as a preventative measure, I want to make a request to talk on and to say that when we know snow is coming, close the highway. It's better to close the highway than to have the difficulty that people go through. People can suffer from hypothermia, people who need medication, who need special treatment, that can be high risk at that, and you can't get them out of there. So the best thing would be, number one, for Tolkon to close the roads, following the weather report. And secondly, for people doing the traveling, to just hold back. I know a lot of people have booked their hotels, they've booked their accommodation, they've booked their holiday. But the risk of that, you're getting stuck in snow for 2 to 3 days, especially if you have elderly people and you have children, is way too high. It's better just to cancel your travel.
Yeah. And that is the best advice, really. Dr. Sooliman, let's talk about people who have no means to prepare, even if prior warnings are sent out. And I'm talking here people who live in informal settlements. And this is where your organization will most likely get involved. How would you tell people in such areas to prepare for the eventuality, and how do they keep themselves warm? Because the other risk is that whilst they're trying to keep themselves warm, fire breaks out, someone forgets to turn off the stove or the candle, and before you know it, the entire community is razed to the ground. What's your warning to such communities?
Well, number one, an early warning system doesn't work. There's no way people are going to leave their homes. If you tell them a flood is coming, a storm is coming, or a big fire is coming, nobody's going to leave their homes because they're scared to lose that spot of land where they build their shack or their informal home. Then even when the fires are taking place, and even when the floods are there, they stand in that water. You have to really force them and pressurize them and escort them with SAPS and disaster management to move them to halls. If the halls is too far away from the homes, they don't want to move. The hall has to be very close to where the home is, otherwise they're not going to move. Or some family members will move and the others will stay behind. They just will not move because they don't want to lose that prized piece of land of theirs. Yeah. So that's not going to work. Fire, we need an educational policy, through provincial and municipal government or local government to start educating people. But I've said something else long time ago, and I've said it for the last 10 years. We used the Yexke River in Alex as an example. Every year we did the same thing. Water comes, people get washed away, houses get destroyed, we rebuild the houses. Next year, the same thing happens, then the following year, and the following year. And then I said, somewhere along the line, we're looking stupid. And we said, eventually, let's move the people in the same locality to higher ground. And the municipality then gave us a piece of land. We built 107 quality houses, and nobody ever drowned again. But there was a difference. The houses were excellent quality. There was spacing. You couldn't bring any more people into it. We said 107, it meant 107. No extra house could come inside there. We had an outside kitchen, an outside gas area, an outside ablution area, and in security fencing, enough spacing between the houses so that people, fire trucks, ambulances, police could move clearly inside there. But the important thing was control. They didn't mushroom into 200 or 300, 400 homes inside there. There were only 107, and it stayed like that. And in the last 8 years, there haven't been an incident. So we say that when a disaster happens, use it as an opportunity to allocate land not too far from the existing land, or use the existing land, make sure they don't build on servitudes, make sure they're not near an electrical line, and start saying, okay, we're going to create informal check committees. Only 50 houses in block number 1, only 75 in block number 2, only 100 in block number 3. You guys are responsible, number 1, to make sure that no other shacks come. Number 2, you give education on fire use. Number 3, you make sure there's enough spacing. And number 4, if there's a warning about storms coming and you're on low land, you have to assist the people to getting to higher land. You don't have to do that. The disaster management will do that for you. There are a whole lot of other things we can put into place. But the start is to make sure that the number of homes are controlled. We can say the government's going to give you houses and the government's going to build this for you. The fact is there is no money. The reality is there are going to be no homes. And the reality is that 15 minutes after the disaster is over, they will start rebuilding their homes with shacks, with cardboard and plastic and whatever they can get, corrugated sheeting. So let them build it with the same items, but give them a space that's separate from the next house. And in time, when there's money, when somebody can support them, they can put a brick or a block, as you see happens in many other places throughout South Africa. Yep. That's the way to go. There is no other way.
You've invoked local authorities, municipalities, to use a simpler word, Dr. Sooliman. I'm interested to know your partnership with the municipalities and what becomes each of your responsibilities. I know yours is that of an organization that gets in when really the chips are down. For example, I'm looking here, part of the preparation is to say to people, immediately report blocked drains, drain intakes, potholes, report instances of illegal dumping. These are things that I would imagine are taken care of by the municipality. Just in terms of your preparation as an organization, an independent organization from government, do you work in some kind of partnership?
Yes. Right now, today, the municipalities, 7 municipalities from the Eastern Cape has called us, and they're all online with us, on a virtual meeting, asking us to be on standby for them. We are government's number 1 partner. Unofficially, we are South Africa's number 1 response to disaster. Let's make that very clear. The government calls us, national disaster calls us, provincial disaster calls us, local government calls us, the municipality calls us, the mayors call us, the councillors call us, the communities call us, the SAPS calls us, everybody calls us. The moment a disaster hits, we know it before anybody else in this country because we get called first. And in all the communities, there's 960 informal settlements in Cape Town. Every single of those settlements know we are. They even know our teams by their first name. That's our reputation in the areas that we go to. So to answer your question, yes, immediately a disaster is coming, Western Cape government, provincial government, and Western Cape disaster management, Eastern Cape disaster management, Northern Cape disaster management, all 3 of them have spoken to us today.
Yeah.
To say be on standby, we need you inside to help assist. And we have a very fantastic working relationship with the government because there are really good people in search and rescue, in disaster management, people who are really committed, who do work very, very hard inside government, contrary to what people think. We have sterling individuals. When the George disaster hit, the Garden Route municipality or Garden Route district municipality, called us, Gerrit Otto called us. Within 40 minutes, we were on site when the building collapsed. We were the first people to send in dogs to take out the first 3 people alive.
Yeah.
When the big fire hit end of November, beginning of December 2022 in Gqeberha, the acting fire chief called us and said we're in serious trouble. Because it's day 0, we don't have water, we can't reach the fire, we can't replenish our trucks with water, we don't have enough firefighters, we don't have safety uniforms for them, we don't have enough liquids and masks and all other items required for them. We're not sure we can put the fire out, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Nobody came to the aid. We responded with 2 helicopters, 2 planes, additional water trucks, opened up boreholes that we drilled 50 of them, brought in more firefighters and supported them. There was no ego. There was only one issue, working together as South Africans in the interest of South Africans. And that's what I love about the different disaster management groups. We work together as one. They go in to put the fire out, we back them up if necessary, but we come in with the supplies, blankets, food, clothing, new items, hygiene packs, sanitary pads, energy biscuits, whatever required. While talking about this, I need to make another point that South Africa needs to hear very, very clearly.
Yeah.
Hunger is an epidemic in this country right now. When you go to the fire site or the flood site or the tornado site, they don't ask for building kits anymore. They ask for food. Again, today in Luanle and other areas in Western Cape, we were responding. The hunger is very, very intense. It's not only on the side of the fire or the flood. It's on the side next to the fire and the flood. The children are equally hungry. I'm making a call to the government and to South Africans and to corporate companies. We need massive amounts of investment in food. There's a huge crisis building in this country, and it's not only among the poor.
Oh, Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman, thank you very much. Ending that conversation on that sobering note. Thank you very much indeed. Hopefully the authorities are listening, and indeed the private sector as well. They are listening and hoping to open their hearts. Thank you. Thank you indeed for your time.